Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another installment of Lyles Figure Files, part of the Lyles Movie Files brand. All right, so we're on day two of Hasbro's PulseCon 2021. The GI Joe panel just finished, and Fortnite is going on as I am recording this, but I just had to express all of my excitement because I am a super major GI Joe fan. Every time we get classified series news, releases, prototypes, reveals, etc., I am probably the most hyped of any figure line right now because they're cranking these figures out. They're delivering on them. Each figure I've gotten, I've been more impressed than the last one. I've got Breaker now, the Ram Cycle, and Barbecue is the only one that's still left. I'm still waiting on him and the Snake Eyes and Timber 2-pack, but I know a lot of people already have them. I'm still waiting. So I was kind of like, all right, what's new in the pipeline? Let's get on to it. Let's see what's coming. And the team right away was just like, bam, here you go. We've got you. There was a leaked list of classified series set for pretty much through June of 2022. And with these first few reveals, it looks like that list is pretty much dead on, which is very exciting. I'm going to run through the rest of the figures that we did not see today, but we did see some good ones, and the figures that they showed were, oh my gosh, so exciting. It's just showing that the classified series is still on the uptick. They're still rising. They are still delivering really quality 6-inch GI Joe figures. You see the bat here. I had to go through my collection and pull out my updated 3/3/4 figures. So this is the bat. I really thought this figure was such a cool deal. And you see here that they actually made a point to incorporate all of the attachments of the bat. I always like to have this grip because I thought that was really cool. And I believe this one opens up. Yes, it does. And it looks like that one will on the classified series. It has a panel. So you've got this little piece here. That's so cool. They got all the colors, so it's bright. Appropriately so, not tuned down the wrong way. Because, you know, sometimes at the start of this line, they were just like, let's throw every color onto every figure. They really toned that down drastically. Just going like, you know what? People didn't care about those looks. Let's switch up. Let's go old school. Let's go classic. Let's take the real American hero designs and just update them a little bit. And you see those updates. You see that the panel is protecting the bat's chest now. So, and they even added a piece where it cracks so you can get into it. You see the headpiece actually has some damage to it. So it's like the Joes are chipping away at them. I'm really scared about how many bats I need for my army. Maybe 6. Is that a good amount? 8, 10. I think right now I have 10 Cobra Troopers. I still don't feel like that's enough, especially as more Joes come along. So I hope they keep replenishing the Cobra Troopers for people like me who are like, no, maybe 10's not enough. Maybe 15, maybe 30's not enough. I need 60 Cobra Troopers for my army. But the bats look really good. And, you know, since they're the crazy psycho version of the Cobra army, I'm going to probably need to get 10, right? And there's the artwork, the card package art. Look really well done. As usual, I love that they recruit different artists, so it's not just one standard look, and we just get different interpretations of all these cool characters. Next up, we saw the deluxe Zartan, which we've known was coming. Some people already have it. It's coming out for pre-order today on PulseCon. That bat was the only figure that they showed that will not be up for pre-order today. He's scheduled, according to this leak list, to come out in the first half of the year. So maybe because of the fact it's an army builder, it's not coming up right now because they don't want to crash the system with everybody trying to scramble and build their bat army right away. Hopefully we'll get some news on that soon. But we do have another bat, so it was kind of interesting. Now, this is the proto glamour shot of Zartan with his color change feature, which I think is such a cool addition. Such a great throwback for people like me who remembered having that old Zartan and putting him out in the sun, taking him out, and it just the novelty never wore off on that figure. So I love that you're able to do that with this classified series version. It's why I still have my original Zartan in the box, in the package, because definitely getting an upgrade with this guy. So really cool job. The Pulse team also mentioned, or the GI Joe team mentioned, some fan favorite Cobras they wanted to see. You know, clearly they knew which ones they've already done, so maybe it's a little interesting which ones they did not. Lenny mentioned he wanted Road Pig, and I think Road Pig would be a fantastic addition to the classified series line. He'd have to be bigger than just about everybody, having his cinder block hammer, and just go after it. Some other members were Pythona mentioned, and also Wild Weasel, one of my favorites. He's one of that old school Cobra hierarchy from back in the early 80s. So if we get him, we get Scrap Iron and the 3 original Dreadnoks. We'll have most of the Cobra inner circle, not Jericho's inner circle, that I really care about, outside of a Dr. Venom, which probably isn't likely, but maybe he would be a convention exclusive. I mean, this Zartan figure does have a hard master, soft master head sculpt, so it's not like they're completely oblivious or not trying to go into that comic book lore. So maybe we'll get him, and Quint. That would be really awesome. So now they've started with the Tiger Force Python Patrol. They introduced both of these at the same time. These will both be Target exclusives. Now, from my trusty list here, we're going to get Tiger Force Outback, which you see here. This figure looks incredible. I mean, I saw it and was like, man, I've always hated Tiger Force, but this figure is so well done. That head sculpt is amazing. Just the sculpt on his outfit. He looks like he is ready to go out there and survive for 3 months without any reinforcements. I pulled out my Outback figure. I wasn't able to get the white shirt version. I think that was part of an exclusive set, but I did get this one, and it's okay. A nice little representation. I traded all off, or sold off all my O-ring figures, so I was happy when Hasbro brought back the line and brought these guys and kept renovating the sculpts and updating them with better looks over the years. I mean, just the Bat was a really great update. Outback was also well done. So it was really cool just seeing how far they've come, and now they're doing it on a 6-inch format. But Outback looks amazing. He's got a shovel, he's got a knife, he's got his backpack, he's got all these straps. This is going to be that test of patience. Like, okay, I can really wait until we get the original white shirt, survival, red hair, so he doesn't look super old. But man, that figure looks good. And it almost feels like Outback with gray hair kind of actually works and makes sense as like the survivalist. I think if his shirt was different, I may have gotten it, but I don't know. I like Outback. I like his look, and I feel like this will be the one figure in this that I know the version that I really want is going to come, but I won't care because I like this version so much. So don't be shocked if you see that in my collection. Here's a package side art here. Also, as usual, looks cool. I love how this one has the helicopter, and you see Outback kind of descending as he's about to go down there for a long, long time, and we won't see him back out for a minute. So yeah, very cool. And so I mentioned the Python Patrol to go along with Tiger Force. This is the Python Patrol Viper, just the repaint basically of the Viper figure that Target did a much better job. Hasbro also on Pulse.com made sure that people who wanted them could get them, and in a pretty decent amount of stock. Now, I know there was a whole bunch of chaos and confusion with that first set of Assault on Cobra Island figures. Then the second wave seemed like it was going to have the same issue. But I'm pretty sure, like, if I were to go on to Target's website right now, I could still order Firefly. Baroness has been back and forth on stock. They've done a much better job, so I'm not worried about these exclusives not being in stock anymore. And here's the glamour shot, and I really want to figure out where they get these trees from, because I want to add them in my shots as well. But I think this does a really nice job of showcasing how cool the Viper looks with the Python Patrol colors. And here's the package art. This is just a repaint basically of what we got, or a variant of what we got before with the Vipers. Next up is a Python Patrol Bat. So I guess we may actually see this come out before the old school original version of the Bat. This one's kind of nice because, a Python Patrol Bat 2 or 3 could make a nice addition to a Cobra squad. And I don't, for whatever reason, the color scheme on the bat doesn't throw me off so much as the original Python Patrol and original Tiger Force colors. So, and here's a cool glamour shot of all three of these guys so far. And yeah, I really like the look here. And I don't, I'm really torn because I really like that Outback. And I think if, yeah, I don't know, I may get this guy. He really looks cool. And that Python Patrol bat is also very nice looking as well. But this was the guy who just blew me away. I was, on this list, we had Spirit, and this was the version from the most recent updated 3/4 version of GI Joe. And as we become more sensitive or more aware of cultural appropriation and just stuff that maybe is not so PC anymore, I was really curious to see what they were going to do with Spirit, because I wasn't sure how much of his elements or how much of him as a character would be considered offensive to indigenous population members. So happy to see this. Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas said that that he collaborated with Hasbro on some of the design choices. So you notice here, there are no furry boots, and I did love those. I thought that was a cool part of his outfit, and they're gone. But everything else is pretty much intact. He's got the braids still in his hair. He's got the headband, and I think if there were real crucial parts of his outfit, those were two of the major parts that I definitely wanted to see again. He's got the belt. No longer has the skirt piece here, but that's fine. I mean, that's something, again, I liked it. I always thought Spirit was one of the cooler looking Joes just for all these unique design elements. But again, we don't need to be offensive in 2021, 2022. His gun is basically the same you see here. It's an updated version, but they've decided now that he's going to be a sniper instead of a tracker, which is fine because we can do whatever the heck we want to do when we've got the figure in hand. So it's nice to be able to get this version of Spirit, and now I'm getting closer to reenacting GI Joe 31, where Destro, Firefly, and a Crimson Guardsman Fred go after Snake Eyes' cavern or cabin in the woods and attack him in Spirit, only to be rescued by Airborne in Spirit. So very cool. And I love the fact that they actually did include Freedom. I'm pulling off here. Here is my Freedom. I guess this guy would not really fit on here, but I love that he actually fits. These animal deals, these animal companions with the Joes were such a major part of the line. But it's one of those deals where, like, well, are they going to keep that up in 2022, 21? I was really excited to see Timber with Snake Eyes. I really was like, are they going to do it with Spirit? Because would this be part of something that would be offensive? No worries. And you see the really cool thing here is he has both folded wings and flying outstretched wings. Such a cool feature because, this one was just open wings, just going out there, right? And now he can do both. He can rest on his backpack. And I'm just so happy that we still got that. And you see the scabbard here on his chest piece. Same for that figure as well. It's got the grenade. Ditto. I mean, I just love that they're still incorporating all these classic elements. You see that he also has the communicator piece that was in basically all of the original series of classified figures, and it seemed like they were kind of going away from that kind of tech piece. I'm glad to see it's incorporated in with Spirit as well. But yeah, I think they did an outstanding job on this guy, and so excited to see him in the classified series lineup. A really, really nice job. And this is the artwork for the package. I think this is really cool. I believe Taboo said an indigenous artist did this, so that's really neat to also celebrate and reflect the heritage of Spirit as a character. I don't know about you, but I always thought it was so cool that the Joes had somebody representing from so many different areas, and I love that. I always thought it was just a cool thing. In the cartoons, there were some that could celebrate diversity without making a big thing about it, and others that were just like, sorry, this is just what we got to work with. And so GI Joe definitely being one of them that celebrated all kinds of different characters. It really was cool just to see different people incorporated and mixed up in the fun against Cobra. Storm Shadow's here. So this is probably one of my favorites of those up-to-date modern versions of figures that they did. They just knocked this guy out. And the wraps on his arms, the bow and arrow quiver, the swords. So this was kind of like my, if it's as good as this figure, I will be happy. But, you know, I won't hold out too much hope. This figure is outstanding. We've already gotten like the Arctic version, so when he turns face and joins the Joes. But to me, this is the Storm Shadow I really wanted in my collection. The Cobra version, the Cobra Ninja, the white clad antithesis to Snake Eyes. And I just thought it was always cool that the good guy wore black in GI Joe and the bad guy wore white. And I thought that was a nice switch on something that you always see the opposite. And so he looks great. I love that fierce head sculpt he's got. His wraps along his shins, his ankles, his wrists. We don't see the Rashtakagi tattoo, which is nice. I like that it's just on his quiver. And so it's not this thing of like, hey, everybody, I'm part of the Rashtakagi clan. It's hidden. So you can do that thing where, you know, it's like, oh, he's in the wraps. And then when he's fighting Snake Eyes, it reveals itself. And so it's just something that all the Joes don't immediately know right away. And yeah, he has a lot more detailed muscles too. You saw that with Outback, and they've done that as well here with Storm Shadow. Just, I mean, these guys are really exciting. He has a hood piece that you can see on this figure, and this hood piece is removable, and you can also take that hood piece, that the lowered hood piece, you can remove that as well, which is a nice option. So if you want to have a really classic, really old school Storm Shadow with modern sensibility, you can definitely do that. So yeah, so we've had a really great Spirit, a really great Storm Shadow, really exciting additions to the lineup. And here was another figure that I was just really shocked to see. Croc Master. Not so much shocked that they made him, because he was also another one of those guys on that list of guys who was slated to join the lineup. Here is the 3/3/4 update of Croc Master. And I thought, you know, for the time, this was a really great figure. His crocodile actually has an articulated mouth and jaw. So that's really nice. And they did some amazing work on this sculpt here. So you can see all of that right down to the back. His rebreather had all that detail. I mean, just really great work. At this scale, it's really impressive. And then they just decided we're going to do it even better with this 6-inch classified series. You see he's got his whip. He's got a really big crocodile. According to the Hasbro team, her name is Fiona. And articulated jaw again. Not quite sure if you can make out the baby alligators, which Fiona carries in her jaw, which apparently is something that alligators and crocodiles actually do. He's got a meat hook to hold Fiona's mouth open, and he's got a longer chain as well. So he's got a little bit of everything. And I thought from the promo pics that whip actually is articulated, or at least is not just coiled up. You can actually do stuff with it. But man, that is an impressive looking piece. And the Hasbro team was like, yeah, Croc Master is wearing taxidermist, or he's wearing the outer shell of a crocodile, which is a nice, cool story element to add to this. Croc Master is really cool. He's just one of those unique Cobras. He's not sitting up there in the strategy sessions with Cobra Commander, but he does his job on Cobra Island, and he just has a really cool visual. So you see the back here, continuing that crocodile outer shell portion there. And he's a fantastic looking figure. He's like, I don't care how much this guy is. He's worth it. They keep doing great work. And here's the promo shot here. So you can really see the scale of Fiona next to Gung Ho, who is a huge Joe, one of the biggest ones in the line, who probably shouldn't be. I'm really hoping that they redo Gung Ho really soon now, because he looks out of place, not looking as good as the classic versions of most of the newer figures. So really nicely done. Package art as usual. and just really got me excited. All right, so that was it for the classified series. But according to our list that we've got a few more figures. Now, originally with that lineup, Croc Master and Fiona is set to come sooner, January maybe. Again, those things are subject to change just depending on who gets slotted in and out of the lineup. But the February releases are Spirit, Storm Shadow, and the Cobra Officer. So we did not see the Cobra Officer, but that's rumored to be part of that first wave. So then the April wave is Tomax and Zaymot, the Crimson Twins. They were arranged so carefully on my display, I did not want to pull them out because it was going to topple my mountain of Crimson Guardsmen surrounding them. Stalker. I still need to get the updated version, but here is the older version of Stalker, the GI Joe Ranger, who will not get in focus no matter what I try. But yeah, so he's coming. He was the only disappointing thing because I really wanted to see what a classified series Stalker was going to look like. If he's anything as good as Storm Shadow, if he's anything as good as Spirit and Croc Master, he's going to be amazing. And I cannot wait to see what they do with him. So we've got him coming. We've got the Crimson Guardmen to lead or to go alongside Tomax and Zaymot, Zorana, Dusty, and a Viper Officer 2-pack. Now that's all we know so far, but that's pretty exciting. That's a nice, great tease. That's something to really look forward to because, man, these guys look really great. And I assume at some point later on in the year, we'll see the old school original take on Outback with the red hair, the white survival shirt. So I assume we'll see him at some point sooner. Another big reveal from the Joe team was the return of O-rings. I still have a few Joes in my collection that the O-ring that's been replaced is still holding up, and thumb joints there are still working, but they're going back old school with the O-ring versions. So this is Commando Snake Eyes versus original Cobra Ninja Storm Shadow. And it's kind of funny because in the box you see it's Ninja version 2 Snake Eyes versus Storm Shadow. It seems like an odd thing to mess up on. I mean, that's not at all what you're getting here. But I guess they've done that in some of the 3/4 inch retro figures, going with a look that's not reflected accurately with the actual figure. But for those of you who want those old school classic versions, here you go. So that's going to be exclusive to HasbroPulse.com. Then the big reveal was the HasLab project for GI Joe. And I think a lot of classified series fans were like, all right, what are they going to do? Are they going to give us a Cobra Trouble Bubble? Could they go as far and do a Vamp? Maybe even a Snake, the armor piece? I mean, we had so many thoughts about what we're going to get, but not yet for us. Instead, it is the far better updated version to the Skystriker. Here is the updated version that we got for the 3/4 inch line. I don't know why I keep stumbling over that. The 3¼ inch line. So this is that one. It's definitely not the Skystriker, but it really was cool because it had like a little grip handle here that you could pull out and actually hold it. And then it has a trigger that shoots the missiles, which was a very fun play feature that I still use when I shoot and do stuff professionally. Yes. But I really like this. But that is a classic Skystriker, the one that, if you're old enough, you had from 1983. This is based off the Northrop Grumman version, and it's licensed. You see it's got a stand, so that's a really nice feature. It's got the pure clean white, a whole bunch of decals. It's got support vehicles, so Cobra Rattlers are trying to take out the Joe air base. They can kind of shoot them down to help get Ace and the rest of the crew off into the air to get a good dogfight going. And this is the weapons underneath. Those blast effects are actually part of the figure, the Skystriker, which is a nice element there. So you can take those and figure out which ways you want to go with that in display. Then there's a co-pilot that's actually coming with Ace. And then there's support vehicles as well. Here's the back look. All right, so they need 10,000 backers for this one at 13,000 Then you get Scarlet in a flight suit. A nice little reuse of Scarlet's original torso piece, and then reincorporating, I guess, some elements from Ace. I think it's cool that she's in blue for whatever reason, and then has her crossbow so she can give Ace some help from the back. And then we've got the second unlock piece at 16,000, Night Force Ripcord. So they're kind of teasing, hinting that we should probably start looking forward to seeing some Night Force figures in the Classified series. Hopefully not Ripcord, because I want the old school just complete camo with the flight rig setup. So yes, that'll be cool. And then unlock 3 is the 2 pit crew members. I feel like they're setting me up. We've got a Skystriker now, and then maybe a couple years from now, we've got the HasLab that you suckers are going to pay every bit of your money for with the flag. And I am so worried because there's very little way that I'm going to be able to say, nope, this time I'm not getting the flag again. I feel like if they put that bag out there, I missed out on it during my childhood. It is the one thing that I'm still holding on to very long and have not gotten over. And if they put that out again, I'm going to go, no questions asked, put it down. I may be the first backer on the USSS flag. And the Skystriker is really nice. I think they did a really good job with it. We got to see a actual prototype version. You see the stand, you see all of those missiles. This is everything that comes with the Skystriker if it meets that 10,000 backer mark, and that is going to be $229. So it's not too absurd, I suppose. I'm trying to remember how much I paid for that jet. I feel like it was closer to $50, but given the exclusive nature of it, we're getting a couple extra figures, some extra pieces, and the fact that Toys R Us no longer exists here in the US, they have to do a little bit more. So I think this is pretty decent. I think this is one of those deals where the more backers that we get, the better the value, just because of the extra pieces, the extra figures we get for it. So yeah, and I did not get a shot of, there's actually parachutes. So when the Skystriker inevitably gets shot down and no one blows up before, they can actually eject and make use of the parachutes. And that'd be kind of cool. They work nicely. You can just throw them up in there and just like whoosh, and watch them glide down. That can make for some cool figure photography too. But yeah, so that is the GI Joe version here of what we got from Hasbro's PulseCon 2021 day 2. So much exciting stuff. I cannot wait to see these figures coming very soon. Most of these go for pre-order today on Target and HasbroPulse.com and maybe Amazon. So we'll see. But I cannot wait to get these guys and break them down in reviews, maybe even on review form here on Lyles Movie Files or Lyles Figure Files as part of the Lyles Movie Files brand. But that's it for me. Back to PulseCon 2021 day 2. I'll be back after the Marvel Legends team wraps up their presentation, because you know that's going to be crazy, and there's going to be so much stuff that I'm going to want to get, probably you as well. So for now, that's it. I'm signing off. This episode of Lyles Figure Files has been filed.